What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson responds to Anthony Joshua being defeated by Oleksandr Usyk, and this is what the former champ had to say. He said, quote, "After watching the Joshua versus Usyk fight, maybe they had a bad day that night. From that performance, do you really think they could have beat me in my prime?" Wow. Mike Tyson on Joshua versus Usyk on Twitter. Okay. I think people need to realize what Mike Tyson's actually saying. You know, he was comparing himself to both fighters. Okay, if you notice, certain wording, okay, is used for certain reasons. All right. He said maybe they had a bad day that night. Okay, so he was talking about Anthony Joshua, but then he said, do you really think they could have beat me? Okay, they is more than one. So he was talking about more than Joshua. He was talking about more than Joshua. He was referring to Deontay Wilder. You know, he was referring to anybody that actually been defeated. Okay, but in this stance, he was also talking about Anthony Joshua. So that's what we wanted to talk about. First off, I think Iron Mike Tyson was an anomaly. Okay, he was a special fighter. He was one of the youngest he was the youngest champion, heavyweight champion that ever lived. I think a lot of these fighters would have failed to Mike Tyson because he's Mike Tyson. You know, this heavyweight era is full of guys that are colossus. They're like huge, okay? But Mike Tyson, he used his size for his advantage. You know, he also had the power, but he also had the speed and the technique that he practiced and trained every day, and he was taught for one of the best to train anyone, Customato, okay? Classic trainer, ate, slept, dreamed boxing, okay? So he was around for that particular time. So at the end of the day, I think Mike Tyson is a guy that would have beat a lot of these guys, okay? He would have beat a lot of these guys. He would have taken them out. They don't have the agility. They don't have the skill. They have the size. They have the reach. They have other attributes. But with Mike Tyson, you know, in his prime, that's a totally different beast, okay? We've seen many, many faces of Mike Tyson. But when you talk about Mike Tyson's prime, there's very few guys that you would give him a chance against. That's why you always compare Mike Tyson, with Ali, because Ali was one of the best to also do it, and Mike Tyson was also one of the best to also do it. Okay, so him saying that, you know, maybe they had a bad day, maybe he did. You know, I think that Anthony Joshua, this definitely wasn't his best day, right? But, you know, looking at Joshua and Usyk, I don't know what was wrong with Joshua. I don't know. Maybe it was Usyk, you know, and I think people should credit Usyk more for what he didn't allow Anthony Joshua to do, you know, versus what he could do in there with the two-time unified heavyweight champion, okay? Should I say now two-time former heavyweight unified champion, Anthony Joshua. So, you know, but no, to answer Mike Tyson's question, to wrap this up, I don't think a lot of these fighters, that's including Deontay Wilder, maybe even Tyson Fury, he's an anomaly by itself because of his size and his speed, okay, along with his boxing IQ. So maybe he may give someone, Mike, a run for his money. I mean, the prime Mike, a run for his money. But most guys, Mike Tyson would have beat a lot of these guys in their prime. That's why, of course, he is Iron Mike Tyson. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Mike Tyson responding to Anthony Joshua and asking that question, would they really have beat me in my prime? Tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.